Russian and U.S. president's phone call achieves many positive results.
Prime Minister receives Trump Organization representative in Vietnam.
Nghệ An urges site clearance of Hoàng Mai II Industrial Park.
Hello everyone, you are watching today's news on NTV channel. My name is Đăng. Let's get started. Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump had a second phone call lasting nearly 2 hours to discuss key issues including the Ukraine conflict and Russia-U.S. relations.
We talked about a lot of things, but aid was never
After the phone
discussed.
call, the Kremlin said that after affirming the fundamental commitment to a peaceful solution to the Ukraine conflict, President Putin declared his readiness to cooperate with the U.S. to thoroughly explore possible ways to achieve a comprehensive, sustainable and long-term solution. President Putin agreed to the initiative to cease fire on energy infrastructure for 30 days and immediately ordered the military to do so. In addition, Putin also announced a major prisoner exchange on March 19. Meanwhile, the White House issued a statement saying that the two leaders discussed the need for a ceasefire in the Ukraine conflict and agreed that the conflict must end with a lasting peace.
Israeli Prime Minister announced that Israel would escalate its offensive in Gaza Strip. He stated that from now on, ceasefire negotiations will only take place under bombardment. This warning came after Hamas rejected an Israel-U.S. proposal to extend the first phase of the ceasefire agreement, which ended on March 1st.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that massive overnight strikes on Gaza were only the beginning. Netanyahu stressed that the current military campaign will continue until Israel achieves all of its goals, which are to free the hostages, eliminate Hamas and ensure that Gaza will no longer be a threat to Israel. Earlier in the day, the Israeli foreign minister stated that the country's resumption of the Gaza offensive was not a one-day campaign, and confirmed that the U.S. government was informed in advance and supported this offensive. Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, which came after Hamas rejected a ceasefire proposal, have killed more than 400 Palestinians and drawn international criticism.
At the government headquarters, Politburo member and Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính met with Chuckler's James Boyne Bowman, General Director of the Trump Organization's project in Vietnam.
The high-end urban, eco-tourism, sports and golf course complex project in Hoang Nguyen Province, providing services according to the highest standards of the Trump Organization, with a total estimated investment of about $1.5 billion United States dollars. Proposed by the investor is a joint venture of Hoang Nguyen Investment and Development Group Joint Stock Company and IDG Capital. Appreciating the business side's interest in investing in the project in Hoang Nguyen Province, the Prime Minister said that Vietnamese agencies will consider comprehensively to promote the project as soon as possible, in accordance with relevant legal regulations, ensuring the interests of relevant parties. The representative of Trump Organization also said that the businesses are studying investment in other projects and fields in Vietnam.
Coming up next are some updated news.
Nghệ An province has just approved investment policy for 2 projects of accommodation for workers at VSIP Nghệ An Industrial Park in Hoang Nguyen. The total of 2 projects is 3.541 houses. Area of 4.76 hectares. Floor area is 195,170 square meters. Providing accommodation for more than 13,600 workers. Up to now, Nghệ An has 5 worker accommodation areas in industrial parks including the dormitory of Luxshare, ICT factory project, Nghệ An, which has been completed to accommodate about 8,220 workers. Currently nearly 2,000 workers are staying, dormitory of Everwind Precision Technology Company Limited, Vietnam, meets accommodation needs for about 1,200 workers. The dormitory area of the Ju Teng Electronic Product and Auto Parts Factory project in Hoàng Mai II Industrial Park is currently under construction, providing accommodation for about 20,000 workers.
5 North-South Expressway component projects through Ha Tin. Quang Binh, Quang Tri provinces will complete the main route before April 30th and complete the entire project before June 30th. 2025. The 5 expressway component projects have a total length of more than 259 kilometers. With a total investment of 49,206 billion Vietnamese dongs. In the provinces of Ha Tinh, Quang Binh, Quang Tri, these projects started construction in January 2023. According to the signed contract, the projects will be completed from October to December 2025. Thus, according to plan, these 5 projects will be completed in 2025.
The 42nd National Television Festival will be held in Khai Nhon City in the central coastal province of Binh Dinh from March 19 to 22. This is a major event, converging excellent works and recognizing the continuous creative efforts in the television field. The opening ceremony takes place at 6 p.m. on March 19. This is one of the highlights carefully prepared by the organizing committee. The program brings to the audience an impressive party of art, imbued with local cultural identity, opening a series of exciting activities of the 42nd National Television Festival.
Industrial parks in the province, especially Hoàng Mai II Industrial Park, are attracting strong interest from foreign investors. To support this, local authorities are working to resolve challenges, expedite site clearance, and prepare clean land for investors, including secondary investors.
Agreeing with the policy of reclaiming agricultural land to build industrial parks and develop the economy, many households in Queen Binh Commune, Hoang Mai Town have received compensation and handed over more than 32 hectares of land to investors. However, there are still some problems. So the 150 hectares of land approved for the first phase of measurement have not yet been compensated for site clearance because the unit price of agricultural land and the resettlement plan for households subject to population dispersal by household into the new economic zone have not been agreed upon.
In terms of policy, the people have agreed, but there are also some problems, mainly the issue of compensation for crops and trees.
For the remaining area of nearly 152 hectares that has not been approved for measurement due to overlapping boundaries, incorrect location, area, land type, etc., the local government is coordinating with relevant agencies to focus on completing the documents for approval in March.
The commune is also focusing on speeding up the site clearance process, resolving local disputes, and working with the Site Clearance Compensation Council to handle site clearance compensation for the people.
Hoang Mai II Industrial Park is a key project of the province to achieve the goal of attracting investment in a context with many advantages. Therefore, the Provincial People's Committee has requested Hoang Mai Town to closely coordinate with relevant departments and units to urgently complete the site clearance work before May 31st. 2025 to seize the opportunity to attract investment.
The commune has implemented the compensation pricing flexibly. For the clear parts, we will apply the price first. For the unclear parts, we will ask the province to pay compensation so that the people will not be disadvantaged.
Apart from Hoang Mai II Industrial Park, Nghệ An province is currently focusing on removing obstacles, supporting and coordinating with investors to speed up the progress of industrial park infrastructure projects, completing site clearance and infrastructure construction for many key industrial parks. In particular, compensation and site clearance are considered a prerequisite step, ensuring that works and projects, especially key projects, are implemented on schedule, promoting socio-economic development.
This is the end of the show today. Thank you for watching.